Hello, viewers at home. Welcome to another edition of Reclaiming Your Life, Reclaiming Your Voice. Now, this is the third one. The first one I did introduction. The second one I talked about one of the areas where we lose our voice, and that is the area of our identity. And I'm going to be continuing today talking about another area that we can lose our voice, and that is the area of our purpose. And when I'm talking about purpose, I'm talking about the intention of God for bringing us here on earth, His end point, His goal, His plans. What is it that He had in mind when He put us together? We know that the Bible is filled with ample evidence to show that there is no one here on the surface of the earth that is here by accident. Regardless of your entrance point, regardless of how you enter the human space, the fact that you are here means that God has an agenda for you. And we know that God says He created us for a purpose. He put us together. And before we were even born, He has already written every page of our life. So there is no one here that is here by accident. But you agree with me that there are so many people that are living a life of confusion. It's like they don't know where they are going. And of course, when you don't know where you are going, everywhere will look okay. There's a popular adage by Miles Monroe. It says, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And there are so many people that are actually abusing themselves, not other people now. They are abusing themselves because they have no clear cut of why they are here. But you see, we were not born like that. If you see a child, most of the time when a child is growing up, they always come up with creative ideas. I want to do this, I want to do that. Most of the time, when a child begins to keep quiet on what they want to become in life, is because the environment is conditioning them to think otherwise. And there are so many people that are living in a perpetual state of disillusionment, confusion, disconnection with their inner man because they have allowed environment to condition their internal world, so they cannot make sense of why they are here. So how do we lose our voice when it comes to our purpose? There are so many things around us that can make your voice to become drowned in living a purposeful life. One of them is competition. When you begin to compete with other people, when you feel that life is a race, I must win, I must be number one, I must always be on top, when you're always looking for something to strive with other people to make sure that you outshine them, it's just a clear call that you really are not clear about why you are here. Because when God created us, He didn't create us so that we can come and start competing with one another. So competition, when you begin to compete with other people, it can easily get you to derail from your own path and begin to chase shadows. Another thing is when we despise what we have been given. Every one of us has been blessed with unique gift, unique talent, things that makes us distinct. But when you despise what you have, when you look down upon your own gift, when you begin to demean the things that have been embedded in you by your maker, what are you doing? You are more or less creating an enabling environment for your voice not to be heard. So two things I've mentioned: a competitive spirit and also looking down on the things that we have. Another thing that can make us to lose our voice is when we compare ourselves with other people. The truth of the matter is that you will always see people that are better than you in some areas. But regardless, there will be things about your life that makes you unique. Your signature over life situation and circumstances is uniquely yours. But when you begin to compare yourself with somebody else, you will lose sight of what you have. So instead of you channeling your energy in living a life of authenticity, you begin to live in the shadow of somebody else. So competition, despising your gift, comparing yourself, with other people. Another thing that can make us to lose our voice is when we fear the rejection of men in pursuing our purpose. Some of us, we have crazy, unique ideas. Sometimes you get to places, you see solutions to even problems that other people are not yet seeing. And fear of what will people say, fear will they accept me, fear that I don't want to be the odd one out. We keep quiet and we begin to live our life in other people's shadow. Yet you know that those drive, those desires are within you. Another thing that can make us to lose our voice is, when we begin to live in the past failures, past mistakes, things that we have done. The truth of the matter is that this life we are going to make mistakes. But you see, we don't have to allow our mistakes to define us. They should be learning curve. Learning curve where we will pick things that we need to learn and move on and make us better. But when we allow ourselves to begin to romance with the drama of the past, when we allow ourselves to begin to dance to the rhythm of the past failure, past shortcomings, past mistakes, the energy we are supposed to use to keep moving on, we will allow it to drown our voice. Another thing that can make us to drown our voice is when we don't see ourselves the way God sees us. God sees us as unique workmanship that He has created. But when we begin to see yourself as grasshoppers, I said that in one of my previous videos, God told the children of Israel, I've already given you the land. Go out there and possess it. They got there, they saw the Anakims. They said we were like grasshoppers, so were we in their sight. It was not even the Anakims that called them grasshoppers. They called themselves grasshoppers. And of course, all the people that said all those things, they died in the wilderness. They didn't have the ability and the inner strength to be able to stand up and claim their own voice and occupy their own space. Why? Because they did not see themselves the way their maker saw them. So when you don't see yourself the way your maker sees you, God sees you as a worthwhile, a valuable person that deserves of love, that deserves, is so valuable that God had to send Jesus to die. And yet, if you see yourself as a non-entity, there is no way. So when they are talking about ideas, things that, will better the world, because you see yourself as a non-entity, even when you have an idea that is worth billions, you will keep quiet. You will not be able to say it because you are not seeing yourself well. Another thing that can make us to lose our voice is when we extol the voice of men above the voice of God. When God says sit and men say stand, and you stand and you despite, you will lose your voice, you will lose your space. And that's also what happened to Saul. God told Saul, go and destroy all the Amalekites. And what did he do? He listens to the voice of the people. And of course, he lost his place, he lost his voice. When Samuel told him, wait for me until I come before you perform the sacrifice, he responded. He listened to the pressure from the people. And what happened? He paid dearly for it. So these are some of the reasons that can make us to lose our voice. So have you lost your voice? Can you identify with any of those things that I've mentioned? Then I'm here today to say there is hope for you. It's time for you to come back. You can reclaim your voice. God created you for a purpose. You are not an accident. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And He says, I know the thought I have towards you. They are thought of peace. They are thought of good, not of evil, to give you a future and to give you a hope. So God says there is hope for your future. So I'm asking you today, come back to your God. Come back to the God that's created you. Align yourself with God's purpose for your life. God created you for a purpose. You are not here by accident. There is something that is unique about you. There is something that makes you stand out. There is a song that your life is supposed to be singing that people are waiting to dance to His rhythm. And it is as you rise up and begin to live in the reality of what you have been created for. That is when other people can dance to the rhythm of your music. So it's time for you to come back to your Father. And I'm asking you today, come back to God. You matter to God. You matter to this generation. There are answers within you that people are waiting for. But you can only birth those answers when you are willing to stand in the purpose for which your Creator has made you to be. So I hope to come your way another time. Keep listening, keep sharing, leave your comment. We are in this journey together to live a purpose-driven life and to fulfill the will of our Maker for us. So bye for now, and I'll be back again, continuing on a series, Reclaiming Your Voice, Reclaiming Your Life.